was born to do this. Let anybody else say something different, I'll beat their ass.
What you gonna do,
I'm
friend?
like, think.
Hey y'all, what's going on? It's your girl Amaya Desire, and of course I'm here with the wonderful Brittany Hall. How are you today, ma'am?
I'm so happy.
That's good. Listen, that's good. That is it. I'm blessed. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here with you. Of course, rap shit has wrapped, right? And the season is done. But what an amazing season it was. So tell me, um, what about this character stood out to you that made you want to play Alex?
One, she is an A&R. That's like my secret dream. Like I
Okay.
love finding new artists and putting them on my Apple playlist. And I have so many friends that are amazing artists. And I was like, I wish I could just be an A&R and take you to a record label and put you on.
Hmm.
And Alex was exactly that. And then ironically, this is going to be weird, but I'm gonna share it. So ever since I was a kid, I've always had this obsession with the name Alex, and I considered it my lucky name, right? So I
Okay.
would name my pets Alex. And then my first agent, when I first met him, I was like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Alex." I was like, "You're a Jim." And then like he became my agent. And then so when I got this character, and I was like, "Her name's Alex," it just kind of, I literally called my mom and was like, "Mom, what name have I always been obsessed with since I was a kid?"
I
She's like,
love it.
"Alex." I'm like, "I'm gonna be an Alex, mom." Like it was just like such a moment for us that no one else would understand. But it's little things like that that I just feel like are synchronicities that mean something to you,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm.
And yeah, so that little synchronicity made me excited. Like I even asked the writer on set, I was like, "Hey, what made you name her Alex?" Like I needed to know. And he's
Yeah,
like, "I have no idea." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "I had no idea."
it just came to
So
me.
it's just like those little things that make your heart be like, "Oh," you know. So that
Yeah,
makes me happy.
I definitely get it. Well, I mean, fun fact, right? I don't know how many people know this, but my real name is not Amaya, right? It's Aisha. And
Ah,
I came up with the name Amaya Desire, which actually goes, my initials are AD. So like my pen name and my handle is AD. And so I think along the way, I was just like, for some reason, if I had to choose another name, Amaya would be it. And so here we are years later with Amaya Desire, and it just kind of stuck. So we all have that one thing where we're like, ah, that's gets it.
yeah, we hold on to both names are
Yeah.
beautiful, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
I really just was like, yeah, I'm just gonna. I don't know. It was something about it, and I think, like you said, when it feels right, it sticks with you, and you just hold on to it. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is Alex was a very pleasant surprise in the season. Of course, we obviously didn't know you were coming, and we're here. Where me and my partner who reviewed the show, Denny, we were like, yo, she's a badass. Like that's how, like, every time he came on the screen, it was like, yo, she is a badass. Like I'm loving this, right? What different personalities or your personalities different, like from who you are as Brittany to Alex? Is there similarities, more similarities than there are differences, or more differences than there are similarities?
Well, Alex for me was another reason why it really meant a lot to me to get this role. Was of course Issa was always on my dream list to work with, and I
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to play a role that was more authentic to me as a queer woman myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been able to be like a queer woman on screen. So when I was like, "Oh, Issa would be the one. She would be the one to get me to be my closest to my most authentic self on screen,"
Yeah.
you know? And then also, I felt like with Alex, I could be playful, I could be flirty, I could be who I am at a different percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what I put into that character. It's like little pieces of me, but sometimes I up the percentage and sometimes
Yeah.
and with her, like, she was such a boss lady that I was like, oh, I could feel like I could tap into my boss lady,
Yes.
bad bitch vibe. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Yeah, they had me in Chanel. I was like, okay, you just saying different. It's just, so it was fun. Like, I feel like Alex, she was a confident woman. She's a confident character.
Mm-hmm.
And for me too, I went through a chapter of like building confidence within myself and not
Mm-hmm.
based on my career and what I attained. But like, if you were to strip me of these things, can I still say I'm confident in me and what my
Right.
capabilities are? And I found that right before I feel like I got this character. So it was a breeze to kind of just feel the energy of just being a confident woman
That's what's
who
up.
had her life together, wanted to help other people.
So you had the alignment. It synced up for you.
You said my favorite word. See, I like this.
Yeah,
Alignment's my favorite word.
yeah, it happens. It doesn't happen often, but I think when it does, or actually, I feel like maybe it happens often. Sometimes we just don't see it. We're not like in a space to like actually, acknowledge it. So that's dope. I'm asking this question on behalf of my partner who's not here today because he was super stoked that we were gonna be able to interview you. So his question for you was, how hard was it for you to cut off Chastity? How hard was it for Alex to cut off Chastity when that episode? I think it must have been episode like seven. It's seven, and
It's 8.
it was eight. It
It's
probably
8.
so she
7,
shows
we did
up.
some things.
She listen. She showed up and she's under what you call it. You said undermining. You're undermining me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What did it feel like shooting that scene? Was that something that you would have done in real life? Like if somebody would have did that to you?
Yes, I've been in a position where one time in my personal life where someone kind of walked in on a meeting before and was being a little rude. And I was just like, you kind of see that person as what's the word I'm looking for? It's a word that I'm looking for, but it's not coming to me right now. But almost like it's a little tricky because you're like you have to respect my business. Like
Mm-hmm.
this, I work very hard for my business. You have to respect it. There's a time and place for everything. You
Right.
couldn't put that to the side for a moment. So I feel like for Alex, it was like, hey, you're overstepping, and I feel for me looking at the character when I was doing it, in my mind, it was like Alex has things in place how she want. This girl feel like a Capricorn, right? Don't she?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I have my things how I want it. Okay,
Big
now look,
Capricorn energy for sure.
don't be coming in trying to overstep because I have a rollout of how I want this to roll out,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to disrupt my rollout, which makes you a wild card.
Absolutely.
So it's like it gets a little tricky trying to work with people that you feel like you can make moves that kind of disrupt the plan because you're not sticking to the plan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's what Alex was thinking. Like, I want to collaborate with people who, when we make a plan, we stick to it together. We don't
Right.
overstep one another because how can we, you know? But if there was a season 3, just saying, I would
Mm.
love to see Alex and Chastity make up and start their own record label or something.
Okay. I like.
Something. I don't know.
I think that when we saw your character, um, for me, especially in this space and transition that I'm in life right now, I'm just like, yo, this is it. This is fire. There's this confidence, but I love that you were able to hold your femininity, right? And like you explained earlier, just being able to act. And also be part of yourself with the character being queer and things of that nature. It's a perfect blend of learning how to be boss but not overdo it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And I think that a lot of times as Black women, of course, we get kind of um, pushed into this box of like we don't know how to balance it with being sweet and strong at the same time. It's like spicy sweet and sour chicken or spicy chicken. You know what I mean? It's like it's gonna kick you, but it's still gonna taste good. So
yeah. I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot to me,
yeah,
honestly. Because I was
bless
like,
you.
I just feel like Alex was one of the characters that I've played that is very close to me, closer to who I am
Hmm.
than a lot of characters.
Right.
And I'm not a bitchy person.
Yeah.
Like, so I didn't see her as bitchy, like how
Yeah.
she presented herself. I didn't see her like a bitchy and bossy woman. I just saw her
No.
like, I'm about my business, but I have a certain way of going about it. And if I like something, I know how to come at it. It was just very fun to play her because she felt free within herself.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's what
She
I
definitely.
enjoyed.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
will agree with that. She definitely felt very free, very like you said, just confident, self-esteem on high, and not in a way that discredited other people or made people, came off putting. But like, I think you have to have that. Like, you have to have that moment where you look in the mirror and you can say, like, yo, this is me. Like, flaws and all, like, we're not focusing on that, but like this right here, this person, this badass, you know what I mean? Like, um that means so much to see a woman being played like that, because there are a lot of times we can see it, and we there's a lot of criticism around those type of characters, you know what I'm saying? So to see it in this way, in this manner, we just like everything about it. Like I said, my if my partner was here, he'd be like, just he's something else. But yeah, definitely love that. So I think one of my questions for you also is, as a viewer, right? Because we know that you're in a few of the episodes, but as a viewer, like, did you have a favorite episode when you were able to watch the show?
Oh my gosh. So Chastity's character this season, her storyline, I don't want to say I'm biased because I'm a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I watch it, even the episodes I'm not in, the color in her storyline keeps me invested, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the hardest episode for me to watch was episode, I believe it was 6, with the
Okay.
motel situation.
Yeah.
And it's because of like how much I like believed her,
Mm-hmm.
Like I truly like the acting was phenomenal, but also truly honestly episode 8, like that table scene when she was had that that
That
was a
one
scene stealer.
paragraph.
That was a
Yeah.
scene stealer, and that made it my favorite episode
Yeah.
because I just like her story development. I like her choices on screen. And I say like I don't know Jonica, but that is I have to say it that way because I know that there is a separation between Jonica and Chastity. And
Mm-hmm.
like how she portrayed herself on screen was just like that's Chastity, and
Yeah.
she worked to do that. And so yeah, episode 8, that scene, that was such a like a powerful scene in the whole series, and it just
It was.
became my favorite
Yeah.
episode specifically for that. But the freaking series is just incredible. It's funny.
It
It's
is.
amazing.
It is. We had such a blast reviewing this season. And my partner Denny, he's new with us, but the chemistry that we had and the way we were able to go back and forth, we picked up something new every time we watched something different, or we went back and read our notes, or we looked at the episode again. Um, and when we got to reviewing the finale, I told him, I said, like, listen, there are certain parts of this episode that I love, but God damn it, if Jonica didn't kill it with this, because there's something about knowing that you want to pop off, but still having the wherewithal and that peace within you to be like, I'm not gonna let you take me there. And I just all the character development, Lamont, like everybody just had, it was so much growth. And I think that that's one thing I really love about this show, is that it shows you different aspects of so many different lives where you can go, and a lot of people can relate to it, you know what I mean, and see yourself in a character. So it was beautiful. I mean, of course, shout out to Issa for always coming through with something that we're gonna look back on and be like, yo, y'all
This
want
is
to
so
watch Ratchet
authentic.
again? Yeah.
She
Like I
makes
just,
great, authentic shows with the right moments that make you laugh because they're real. Like I remember I was watching, I want to say it was the episode when when Mia was in the airport and she was like texting on her phone, and
hmm
then and then the music was playing, and then the person bumped into her, and the music cut off, and then it came back in again. And
yeah.
just the editing in that moment was so like pure comedy
hmm
that I was just like, oh my gosh, I love how Issa creates her shows. Rap Shit, the first season was my favorite show.
Yeah.
And I even made a comment. My friend was like, you really manifested this because we were watching it before. And I was like, I would love to be on this show. But you just say things without putting in the effort behind it. It's just like, I
Right.
would love it, if it
Yeah.
happened. And it just came right to me. And I was like, how did this happen? It's wild.
I love that for you. I think that, like you said best, like earlier on, alignment and manifestation, but it's also like you just have to be in that space, you know what I mean? And it's not easy for a lot of us. My biggest thing that I preach for a lot of my friends is like getting your mental right, you know what I mean? Because we have a lot of stuff that we have going on with ourselves that we don't realize is holding us back. I'm getting ready to transition from my full-time job to really going into this heavy, and I'm just nervous and scared, but I'm like, yo, you only live once, so like
You
you
better know
just let go.
yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
beautiful.
Absolutely. So, I mean, what an honor. I'm super excited that I got the chance to talk to you, to top it up. This season was amazing. The series itself was amazing. I am fingers crossed for season 3. I'm gonna just say when I see you in season 3, you know what I mean? I can't wait to see the level up that the bad boss is gonna be. So there we go.
Thank
So
you for that.
yeah, so per usual, guys, your girl My Desire with the one and only Brittany Hall from Rap Shit. Another Big Go Bell Media interview. You can always find us here on the channel doing more big things. And yeah, shout out to you. So thank you, girl. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. This is wonderful.
All right, peace.
Bye.